Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the post-show for EMERGE15 Triumphant. My name is Casey Johnson, alongside my broadcast colleague, Richey Stevens.
How you
and
doing?
EMERGE15 Triumphant, another fantastic event from Emerge.
Wow. Just a lot of turns.
We're a couple weeks removed from it, and it's still hard to exactly figure out everything that happened, but we're going to run through it, as always, match by match. You guys know the drill by now, and we're going to give our thoughts on what happened, and it started off, crazy things happened with the pre-show, as Anthony Totelli, and let's not even focus on what happened after the match, but Anthony Totelli and Kyle Maverick had another fantastic match.
Yeah.
And yet again, Anthony Totelli got the best of Kyle Maverick and swept the series 2-0.
I mean, I was speechless. I was hoping Kyle Maverick would win so we could get another fantastic match.
Yes.
But the match itself was a good match.
Yes.
Kyle Maverick wasn't on his game, but had an interesting ending. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, it totally did. And Kyle Maverick, again, we've been seeing this with him in recent months where he's just not been able to overcome the hump in Emerge. And so I think, obviously anybody who continues losing like that would be frustrated. And frustration is exactly what we saw after the match, as he absolutely, positively laid waste to Anthony Totelli.
It was beautiful.
You were giddy, and I'm sitting there like, oh my Lord, this is unexpected.
That was amazing. I'm not gonna lie.
So why is it that you're such a fan of this from Kyle Maverick?
Because it just shows a completely different side of Kyle Maverick I haven't seen yet. And it threw me off. So I was like, oh, this is new. This is unexpected. I like this. And he even told Kenzie to get out.
Yeah.
If Kenzie would have gotten into that ring, it would have, wow.
Which definitely surprising, as Kyle Maverick, as I mentioned in our commentary, had been, I should say, one of the nicest guys I had ever met in my life. And I never had any idea that he had that side to him. But nevertheless, he is frustrated right now. And whether or not you agree with the action that he took, it'll be interesting to see Kyle Maverick as he heads into what might be considered a new era for him in Emerge. And on another note, Anthony Totelli was badly banged up after the match and after that attack. And though he won this best-of-3 series 2-0, it doesn't look like he'll be able to make an appearance at these next couple of shows because he is hurt.
Yeah, I'm going to miss him for the next couple shows. But I wish him the best.
All right, so as we move on now to the main show, Donny Idol defeated Sage Phillips with Christopher Icon after the pack mentality sort of backfired on the Hellfire Club a little bit for the first time.
You were just so happy. Your boy Donny Idol, he won. Yay.
I feel good for the fact that the guy who didn't cheat came out on top. I'm always going to respect that.
They did not cheat at all.
Okay, well, that's a bold-faced lie, but either way, more interesting, and it was a fantastic match, but even more interesting than the match is what happened after the match, as the Hellfire Club, incensed by the loss, really took it to Donny and did a number on him until a familiar face came out
Woohoo!
of
Ricky
the back.
Ruckus to the rescue. No one cares.
Judging by
No
the
one
reaction from the crowd, it seemed like a lot of them certainly cared. Of course, the last time we really saw Ricky in any wrestling capacity, he had a pretty terrible injury right at the beginning of the year. And Dave Dynasty now dropping a bombshell that July 30th, which is Emerge's next show to kick off Emerge Week, on July 30th, Cole Radrick goes one-on-one with Donny, and if Donny beats Cole, then at the next show after that, it will be the East Side Elite versus Cole and Sage, which should be a fantastic match.
You know what, Casey? Even if Cole loses,
Okay,
or if Cole wins, I want to see that match.
that's true.
Because I want to see the Hysteria take it to the East Side Elite.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that'll happen.
Oh, that will be an amazing birthday present for me.
Oh, yeah, the show is a couple days before your birthday,
2 days.
isn't it? Oh,
So
man.
I'd love to see my boy Cole and Sage take it to the East Side Elite.
I mean, even putting personal differences aside and just heading into an analyst perspective, you got to wonder how Ricky would be in the ring if this were to happen.
I would say he's probably a little rusty.
Yes,
He's been out for a couple months. When did he got injured? What, January?
January.
Yeah, January.
So he's been out almost 7 months.
Yeah, 7 months. So, well, by the time of the show, it will be 7 months.
Yeah, exactly.
So he would have been out for more than half a year. And, I mean, he's got a lot of work to do.
A couple weeks before the show, I actually did an interview with Ricky that hopefully you guys will see soon, as soon as we have the opportunity to get it released. But in that interview, which took place before the show, I asked him a number of questions about whether or not he was ever going to step back in the ring, and he said he was of the opinion that he didn't know if he would ever step back into the ring, but he did state at one point that he would be more than willing to help out a friend in need, and ironically, that's exactly what happened, but it's something that I said to him in the interview where he has a submission style offense. That's what he goes for. So luckily his bad back might not come into play as far as limiting his offense. But if there's one thing that Jeremy Hadley and Christopher Icon, being the two veterans, have taught the Hysteria, it's to always look for a weak spot, and that's going to be a huge target for them.
And that's what I'm looking forward to. Like, it'll be a good match regardless. It'll have two veterans coming up against the two next big things.
And no matter what you can say about them personally, you can't deny Donny and Ricky would fight with every inch of their being.
Oh, yes. So. And Cole and Sage would definitely tear them down.
Guns and Aggression went up against the team of Remy Wilkins and Aaron Williams. Now, unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond our control, Trevor Court could not appear alongside his Triple C's partner. However, Remy made a few calls and came up with Aaron Williams, who is a fantastic competitor and a great replacement, though, as it turned out, it didn't work out that well for Remy.
That was amazing. That was awesome. Just watching Remy's partnership just kind of crumble at his feet. Not all of the Triple C's can have good wins. Or wins at all.
No, and Guns and Aggression, it's a lot can be said for them. Some would probably call it a tainted victory, considering that somebody had a partner walk out on him. But it takes a veteran instinct to capitalize on that, and that's exactly what Guns and Aggression did. Ended up picking up the win, and Aaron Williams afterwards displayed a fantastic amount of disrespect for EMERGE, stating that, number one, he felt that he had been overshadowed by not being booked for EMERGE before, and that he was a replacement when it actually came time for him to be booked, which, speaking in fairness, is something that if somebody's been trying to get into EMERGE for a while now, is something, I think that was a legitimate point on his part. But either way, you got to take advantage of the opportunities that come to you, and walking out on your partner is not going to get you good standing within this company.
He'll find a way to get in.
I'm sure he will. And
but the Guns and Aggression teamwork was fantastic,
yeah,
Casey.
Absolutely.
And it's just like we said, Luke Lawson, he knows how to move around the ring, and Mance Warner is just a powerhouse.
Yes.
Nothing is going to take him down.
Yeah. I will say now, I don't agree with all of Guns and Aggression's methods, but I do believe that one day they'll be our tag team champions down the line.
I'd like to see them go up against I would like to see them go up against for the title.
Pretty perfect.
Pretty perfect.
Pretty perfect is.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute because next up, yet another tag team match as Beauty and the Beast, JD and Jacob Johns take on Vinny Bolzano and Alistair Wilde, who put up as much of a fight as they could. Let's put it that way. And ended up getting decimated in what ended up being a pretty short match by Beauty and the Beast.
It was awesome.
And I will say I've got to give props where props are due, and JD and Jacob wrestled one heck of a match.
Really? Tell me more. Okay. I'm really interested in this.
I've been pretty vocal about the fact that I'm not the biggest fan of JD.
You've been definitely vocal
I
about
don't
that.
like his tactics. I don't like the way he carries himself. And I don't like how entitled he thinks he is. Quite frankly, when I got into Emerge, I just didn't see it. But looking on this guy now, and I'll say he got all of the things that I've been asking for him. There was no interference. There was no help from anybody else. He got a decisive win, proving just how much of a powerhouse he can be. And I hope he stays away from cheating tactics, because that is the kind of JD Mariani that Emerge needs, in my opinion. Either way, I feel bad for Vinny, because my dude got hit real hard.
Yeah.
For a real long time.
He did. It was awesome.
And so you got to wonder what's next for Beauty and the Beast, but we could have some form of a teaser in that. Some weird stuff has been happening where these two are concerned. After the match, and you would hear this on commentary, of course, I think JD and Jake were too laser focused on their opponents and the fact that they had just won to really notice, but it was not their music.
Are you talking about the red that was on the screen? And
yeah,
I've been confused about that.
Okay, I can tell you, it was not JD or Jacob John's music.
No, it was not.
And at first, a song played that kind of sounded familiar, but I'm not sure. Something is going on here.
And we had that message of
yeah. So then, this video gets played at the show with these falling stars in the background against this Auburn background. And then a few days later, Dave Dynasty receives a little snippet. And you can view it right here on youtube.com/EmergeProWrestling. But it said that it was saying things like, beasts are meant to be conquered and soon. And you got to figure, with all the stuff that's going on, this is pertaining to Beauty and the Beast. And I don't know who would be... I'll just say, I don't know who would be naive enough to try to challenge these guys right now. We've not really seen that many teams, even in Emerge's history, and I'll go so far as to say there aren't many teams in the Midwest that can compete with these guys. So I'm not sure who it is, but I guess this is one of those stay tuned to find out situations.
All I can say is they're going to get torn down.
Whoever it is?
Yeah, whoever it is. Beauty and the Beast, they've lost once because of Remy taking a cheap shot to my boy Jacob Johns.
Also, at last year's August show, they did lose to the Eastside Elite.
I missed that show. So, my bad. Twice. Twice. But
these veterans that you count out so readily.
Yeah, they don't matter. Donny Idol. If anyone's going to try to take on Beauty and the Beast, you have a rude awakening. I can tell you that right now. You don't want to do it. Just save yourself some humility, and just back down. I'm telling you. You don't want to mess with them. Ask Casey's phone case.
Humidity might actually be accurate because there's always hot action in the Emerge arena. It's all What's up?
What's up?
All right. So as we move on next, we got what has to be considered a Match of the Year candidate. And I would say at each of these last 3 shows, we've had a Match of the Year candidate. It just keeps getting better and better. Zachary Wentz and Jeremy Hadley wrestled a full 15 minutes
Fantastic
to
match.
a draw.
I declared it match of the night.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody will agree with you. I mean, disagree with you. I apologize for that.
No one agrees with me.
Not generally.
Not
no.
even myself. I don't agree with myself. But that's beside the point. This match was straight full-on action. There was never a dull moment, and I loved it.
Yeah, from the time that the bell rang, you saw 2 guys who weren't very... This was the classic story of pro wrestling. This is exactly what you want out of a match. These 2 guys were not too familiar with each other. They figured each other out, and once they figured each other out, they gave everything that they had against one another, and it was not enough. We saw a couple near falls at the end of the match that indeed, I mean, if that match had lasted 3 seconds longer, I think Zachary Wentz might have won it. Just due to, you could call it veteran insight on the part of Jeremy Hadley. He heard it coming down. He knew he didn't have to kick out. But either way, as we look,
it was 1, 2, ding, 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 3.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm looking at number 1. If anybody had any questions about whether or not Jeremy Hadley could go it by himself, they were answered here because Jeremy Hadley put up one of the best fights I've ever seen from anybody.
Because Icon wasn't out there, was he?
I don't believe so, no.
No,
he very well might have been.
He
but
came
I'm not
out
sure.
with Hadley, but then I think he went to the back.
Correct. And then Zachary Wentz, if anybody had any questions about this kid.
I gained respect for Zachary Wentz. I've only seen him a few times. And that's in Emerge.
Yeah, and you could tell by the fans' reaction to this guy that they were really taking to him.
Yeah.
And it is going to be crazy.
Well, I mean,
to see what this guy
anyone
does
going
next.
up against Jeremy Hadley, though, the fans are gonna
That's true.
Kind of root for, which I don't agree with.
And anybody that goes up against Jeremy Hadley knows as well that they got to bring their A game.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Zachary Wentz did. Now, we have not yet done our prediction show for the next show, but Zachary Wentz going up against the returning Ace Perry.
Yeah.
And that is going to be an interesting match as well at our event to kick off Emerge Week. Moving on to our 3 title matches to end out the night, starting with the Tag Team Championships. Pretty Perfect, we'll get to that. Pretty Perfect defeated the 8-Bit Punks to win the championship after literally ripping your chair out from under you and using it.
That was awesome. But hold on. See, here's the thing about the Punks. Yeah, they're 8-bit. They're retro. But nowadays, everything's got to be beautiful HD quality. It's got to be pretty perfect.
Oh. Yes. So if we're comparing HD to 8-bit in terms of quality, what you're telling me is that Assassin's Creed Unity is a better game than Super Mario Brothers.
I never said Unity. Unity is trash. I'm talking, let's see, The Last of Us. Uncharted 4.
I mean, you're cherry picking the good ones. Yeah, I see your point. But either
going up against Mighty Number 9, even though that is an HD, it's just trash.
Just keep digging this hole for yourself, man.
The Punks didn't have what it takes.
Mighty Number 9 is trash.
The Punks didn't have what it takes. Yeah, they are Mighty Number 9. They're the ones that, yeah, they were loved. Now, they're washed up.
So, would you be comparing Damian Cole to Keiji Inafune? Because I'm pretty sure he'd be happy with that.
No.
Either way, new tag team champions. Excuse us while we nerd out, but new tag team champions here. Whether or not you agree with their tactics, I've got an issue though with you saying "I knew it" immediately when the pinfall happens.
I knew it.
You predicted that the Punks would win.
I do not know what you're talking about.
You know, because on our prediction show, you
I
picked the
don't-
Punks. You
I don't
thought
remember
about
this.
it actually for quite a while.
I don't remember this. Those words never came out of my mouth.
I'm sure they didn't. I'm sure they didn't. Though you've got to wonder two things though. What's next for Pretty Perfect, and what's next for the 8-Bit Punks? Pretty Perfect here doing what I think we all knew they were capable of. Wrestling what some might call the perfect match against the 8-Bit Punks. And
It was pretty perfect.
moving on. I'm not even going to finish my point.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's fine.
Yes,
You created. We came to a natural conclusion, and I'm not going to take that away from you. Moving on, Chris Caliber faced Bret Havoc for the Outbreak title in another fantastic match.
Great match. Just great match. I mean, I was kind of sad that I didn't get to see my boy Hadley try to redeem himself.
I doubt that that's going to happen again, if I'm being honest with you. You got to think Jeremy Hadley's shots at the Outbreak title are pretty much done. He lost the title, and then every subsequent meeting he has lost. You got to figure he's got to take a different approach.
I'm saying that the time of Chris Caliber is done.
Really, really.
Yeah, I'll give it. You know what? I'll give it 2 more shows. This next show, and then the show after is when he loses his title.
Okay, that's definitely a bold prediction. So you don't think KJ is going to get it done next month?
No, I think KJ is going to get it done next month.
Okay, but that's the next show. So
The 3-way?
Yeah, the 3-way is at the July 30th show.
I didn't think that was for the Outbreak title.
No, it's for the Outbreak title.
Is it for the Outbreak title?
Yeah.
Never mind. Next show, Chris Caliber's done.
All right. The fans were absolutely torn in this match, and I'll say it was one of the quietest matches for a crowd I've ever seen in Emerge, and not even necessarily in a bad way. It's just they love Bret Havoc, they love Chris Caliber.
It was intense.
They had no idea who to even begin to root for, and there was also this silence as if they were sort of in awe because they were seeing a great match, and Chris Caliber busted things out of his arsenal that Lord knows I didn't even know he still had in there. Of course, Chris Caliber, a 15-year vet of this business, has a lot of tricks up his sleeve, but I didn't know he had some of those.
Yeah.
But we would be remiss.
It was impressive, Casey.
We would be remiss if not to talk about what happened at the end of this match. This match heads to a no contest as
KJ runs in.
Kenneth James speared Bret Havoc so hard that Bret Havoc turned a backflip.
It was awesome.
I don't understand why he feels like he has to keep doing this.
He is still furious, Casey. His leg was under the rope.
Yes,
he got
yes,
pinned.
and Chris Caliber said, "I will be more than happy to give him a shot." Chris Caliber said,
He got a shot.
Well, yeah, he got his shot, but he took it when it wasn't necessary. I
wasn't necessary.
thought this guy was conniving. I thought this guy was smart.
He's a brute. This is what he does.
He is supposed to be playing the thinking man's game here. That's what champions do.
He was thinking.
That kind of aggression is the reason I don't think he's going to win this title.
He is full on aggressiveness. His aggressiveness going into this is just awesome. He is not backing down. He took the opportunity to hurt him.
He already had an opportunity. And you know what? If you're going to hurt somebody, then make sure that they are walking afterwards, because Chris Caliber chased Kenneth James all the way into the crowd, and Chris Caliber, very, very nice person. I've never seen him angry on that level.
It's nice to you.
I'm saying that Conniving Kenneth James is getting away from his nickname because he is not thinking things through. He's letting his aggression get in the way of good decisions, in my opinion. And that's why I don't think he's going to win this title.
I think he's going to win.
Either way,
but a three-way
he attacks both of them, and then I'm pretty sure Dave Dynasty was about to fire Kenneth James. But luckily for the conniving one, he got Chris Caliber angry enough that Chris Caliber took the mic and jetted off to Kenneth James and said, "Next month I am kicking your teeth down your throat."
I thought his teeth went down his throat, Chris Caliber's throat,
fair.
Because when he landed with KJ,
Yeah.
that looked bad.
Yeah, we all, Karma included, I don't think, I mean, she was standing next to us at the time, and she goes, "His nose is broken."
Yeah, she just leans over and she goes, his nose is broken. I was like, he'll walk it off.
And so we would, KJ feels that he was robbed of his opportunity, which, in fairness, he was. However, he took this opportunity to get in the way of Bret Havoc's opportunity by ruining that match, so a three-way dance was set up. Another reason I don't think that Kenneth James should have done what he did. He could have had either of these guys.
But since
one-on-one
it was his
next month.
opportunity, Bret Havoc didn't deserve that opportunity. So he would have had to go up against Bret Havoc instead of having to go up against
Kenneth James
Caliber.
just waited, he was in line for a shot. He could have had either of these guys next month.
I don't think it matters that he wanted
One-on-one.
either one. He wants the title, and he wants Chris Caliber.
Well, he's not taking the smartest path to get there. But as we move on to our main event, Apollo Star in his first title defense against Mark Vandy. So, Mean Mark Vandy coming up short against Apollo in Apollo's first title defense. And Mark Vandy, incredibly impressive. There were a couple times when I almost thought he had Apollo Star. But Apollo Star ends up coming out on top in impressive fashion and is still your EMERGE champion.
Boo, Apollo.
Is that
Boo, Apollo Star.
Is that all of your insight? Is that all you have to say for this match?
I mean, it's pretty clear. I do not like Apollo.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, you're not paid to have opinions one way or the other.
True.
You're paid to analyze the match.
Mark Vandy put up an amazing fight. He did. I didn't know much of Mark Vandy.
Correct.
Before EMERGE, but he put up a great fight. And I mean, Apollo pulled his beard. You never pull a man's beard. I can't speak for myself because I don't have one, but
right.
you never pull a man's beard. Apollo wouldn't like his glorious locks being pulled.
Glorious locks. Those are really two words you just kind of pulled out of your butt, didn't you?
Yeah.
Impressive. Apollo, I will agree. I will agree in this case. There is no reason that Apollo, as a champion, should have the need to pull a guy's hair. But it was funny.
It was not funny.
It was funny
and
it didn't do any
as someone who
serious
cares
damage.
about his hair
As-
more than anything, you know I care about my hair.
It's pretty much all you care about.
Shh. You never pull a man's hair. You never pull a man's beard. It's
All
just
right,
wrong.
well, you better not be yelling the next time one of your boys pulls somebody's hair. That's all I'm saying.
I've never seen my boys pull someone's hair.
Oh, yeah, you'll probably just flat out refuse to believe it happened. But Apollo Star, we don't know exactly what's going to be next for him. The next couple of shows, due to some scheduling conflicts, he's not going to be able to attend. So, therefore, we'll have to wait a few months to see what's next for him. But whatever it is, I'm sure it's going to make waves and EMERGE. Either way, EMERGE15 Triumphant, a fantastic event. One of the better events I think that Emerge has ever put together. And in the coming weeks, you will be able to see several of the matches from then with our live commentary. And it is going to be fantastic. So for now, this is Richie Stevens. My name is Casey Johnson. We'll see you guys next time.